Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. Yep, we're back to our regular upload schedule, and we have a good one for you today. I mean, I like to think I have a good one for you most days, but that's definitely true today. Here in this Tier 10 domination battle on the North map, we have Stormax 07 North American server in the US Navy Tier 10 extremely heavy cruiser, the USS Salem, sister ship to the USS Des Moines. Real ship, by the way. Served, can currently visit her. She has been preserved as a museum ship in the town of Quincy in Massachusetts. Obviously named after the town of Salem in Massachusetts. Yes, the same place where they held the infamous witch hunts. The Salem is a bit of a movie star as well, apparently. The 1956 movie, The Pursuit of the Graf Spee, she played the role of the Graf Spee. Stormax there in chat warning his team. He's obviously had a look at the enemy team list and he recognises somebody. He's saying if they're Zao kites, do not push. He's their best player. And that is actually very good advice, regardless of who the player is. You don't chase after Zaos if you have any possible other option. I don't think there's a ship in the game that's better at kiting away and punishing its pursuers than the Zao. Combination of great speed, great stealth for a heavy cruiser, lots and lots and lots of long-range torpedoes with extremely favourable rearward-facing firing arcs, and a huge number of 8-inch guns, certainly more than the Salem, with extremely potent high explosive shells and excellent range. Basically, the Zao pretty much seems to be custom-made to make life extremely interesting and unhappy for anybody pursuing it. But enough about the Zao. Stormax is in the Salem. Not a particularly popular ship when it was first introduced. Well, I mean, it's not actually 100% true, because it kind of was a very popular ship. I'm going to need to explain. The Salem, when it was introduced, because it's a premium, it wasn't popular because everybody wanted a Salem. It was popular because everybody wanted a Des Moines. Because the Des Moines is amazing. And the Salem is more or less the same. In fact, it's exactly the same, where it matters. There are some differences. For a start, the Salem's anti-aircraft guns aren't. I mean, technically they're not quite as good, although functionally there really doesn't make any difference. The Salem doesn't get the 20mm short-range anti-aircraft guns that the Des Moines does, but I mean, they don't shoot anything down anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But the big difference between the Salem, actually there are two big differences between the Salem and the Des Moines, and the first of these is the reason why people did kind of look down their nose a bit at the Salem, particularly if they'd already ground out the Des Moines. The Salem earned itself a bit of a reputation upon its release as the sort of Walmart version, the bargain basement budget version of its more famous sister ship, the Des Moines, almost entirely because the Salem's radar is kind of bad. It only has an 8.5 kilometre range, which is shockingly bad by the standards of Tier 10 cruisers, particularly American cruisers. Also, in fact, it may still be the only Tier 10 ship that doesn't come with a unique upgrade that can be unlocked. Certainly the Des Moines does, and the Salem absolutely definitely does not. But what the Salem does get, which kind of went overlooked at the time of release, as well as the exact same auto-loading 8-inch guns with a 5.5 second reload, you know, the thing that actually makes the Des Moines great, not its radar. The radar's just the icing on the cake. But what the Salem does get is a specialised repair party consumable. It's effectively the exact same repair party consumable as the one that you see on British Tier 8, 9 and 10 light cruisers. Don't worry, you'll see it in action soon. Things are about to start getting a bit hot. So he clearly does not want to get shot at by the Yamato over there. And yes, that is an enemy Salem on the other side of the island. The Salem as a heavy cruiser is sufficiently well armoured that when angled it can bounce 16-inch armour-piercing shells from the bow and belt, but it cannot bounce 18-inch armour-piercing shells. They will citadel you from the front. So he's extremely anxious to back up while shooting at the Yamato here and avoid getting any kind of return. Ooh, double fire. That's a double midships fire. The Yamato does not have the fire prevention skill, so that's two 60-second fires. Have fun. Ooh, friendly Shibakaze just ate a torpedo. Pretty sure he's not spotted. Actually quite surprised because he is within radar range, even if it is only 8.5 kilometres of the enemy Salem. I mean, the enemy Salem is in the perfect position to radar both of the cap circles that Stormax's team is currently flipping, and yet he's not. I mean, that's kind of the point of putting a radar cruiser in a central map position like this in order to cover the cap circles, and yet the cap circles remain uncovered. Oh well, fair enough. We're going to take him down anyway. So, Stormax closing in here. He needs to kill this guy before the Yamato comes back. Now, in this sort of situation, you've got two choices. Enemy Salem's going for one of those two choices. Load the high explosive and burn your opponent down. And that's not a bad choice, because the Salem's 8-inch high explosive is pretty potent. And when angled, you'll bounce a surprising number of armor-piercing shells, which is what Stormax is firing, because he's going for the other option, and he's knocking out the enemy Salem's gun turrets. But what neither of them should do under any circumstances is turn to give broadside, particularly when the one shooting at you has the armor piercing loaded, regardless of how tempted you might be to get that rear turret firing. Because when a Salem or a Des Moines is firing armor piercing at you, you do not turn to give broadside, even if you're in a battleship, because that happens. And there's the Yamato, and oh, this could hurt. That didn't hurt nearly as much as it could have. Oh, enemy Yodo on the flank. Oh, this could hurt. This could hurt a lot. There's one fire. Yeah, you want to avoid getting shot at by both of them if possible. So he's gunning the engines to get an island between himself and the incoming fire from the Yodo, who did just inflict a double fire. He's burned the damage control to take care of that. He needs to get rid of the Yamato. And the Yamato, whether because he's manoeuvring or he's decided he wants to shoot at somebody else, doesn't actually have any of his guns, not even the rear turret, pointing in this direction. So, Yamato taken care of. It's cost him 2/3 of his health. But, 2 kills. That's his team's only 2 kills, actually. Now, if you take a look above the compass, you can see the amount of health he has remaining. It's not a huge amount, 22,500. The light grey bit is the amount that he can heal back, and the dark grey bit is health that he's never going to get back. So let's just stop and take a quick chat about that specialised repair party, because it can heal back a lot more than that, up to 48%, which is why he's not actually triggering the heal just yet. He's going to wait and see if he takes any further high explosive or fire damage in order to get the maximum possible bang for his buck out of that specialised repair party, which does mean he is playing an awfully dangerous game at the moment, because if that Vermont spots him and gets some shots off, he's a dead man, which of course is exactly why he's playing it as close to this island as possible. The floaty ballistics of the Salem's 8-inch shells do allow you to lob the shots over intervening terrain in a way that an enemy ship might not be able to. And he's got a 3.9 second reload now on these guns, thanks to the damage that he's taken because of the adrenaline rush skill. And also he's got the top grade gunner skill running, which is a skill that activates and gives you an 8% faster reload on your main gun batteries if any enemy ship is spotted within your own standard detectability range, like the Alvaro de Bazan over there. And while he's sufficiently close to the island, with enough terrain between himself and the Vermont that he doesn't have to worry about getting shot at by the Vermont, that is certainly not true of the Hindenburg over there, or the Ohio. So it might be a good idea to start backing up, because the Vermont's coming back and he's pissed off about something. Lost a lot of health though. Oh, friendly Yamato took him out. Okay, good stuff. So immediate threat neutralised. Unfortunately, the Alvaro de Bazan was able to get away. Stormax was not able to finish him off, even though he still had 9 seconds of radar left at the point where the Alvaro de Bazan went undetected, because this radar only has an 8.5 kilometre range. Some suspiciously accurate speculative fire there, I think probably from the enemy Yodo. The Zhao's over there as well. He's the one that Stormax was warned in his team about. Those torpedoes could have either been from the Yodo or the Zhao. There's the Yodo. Oh, look at this. Armor piercing loaded. And the Yodo is looking this way, and well, that thing has a lot of 8-inch guns too, so expect some return fire. But this could hurt. This could hurt a lot. That hurt a fair amount. Double Citadel, but I mean, you know, they're only 8-inch guns. It's not a battleship. Still, relatively light return damage from the Yodo, although he is getting hit by the Zhao as well. and he inflicted a fair amount of damage in return. He's actually up to 240,000 damage done. That's 9 citadels scored so far. Some more accurate fire there from the Zao while he was still spotted. The thing is, the Salem doesn't really care that much about getting shot at with high explosive shells, regardless of the caliber. The Yodo there, for example, that thing has 18 6-inch guns. But as long as the high explosive shells being fired at a Salem aren't doing enough impact damage to finish you off and kill you outright, that specialised repair party can basically out-heal almost any amount of incoming high explosive damage. And there goes the Yodo. Friendly Oregon took him down. In fact, the specialised repair party on the Salem is so good that a Salem can be burning in 4 separate spots, 4 separate full duration fires, and the specialised repair party will out-heal it. It's basically functionally immune to fire damage. Oh, hang on a second. He's got... Shimakaze spotted him. He was hoping to farm some damage on the Montana over there without being spotted, and the Shimakaze just ruined that one for him. But it could be worse. The Montana's guns aren't pointing this way. Keeping an eye on what the Zao's up to while switching targets to the Christopher Columbus, who isn't, well, I'm not going to say easier kill, but a more likely kill because he's got a lower health. Yep, got him. That's kill number 3. Still not getting shot at by the Montana either. Not quite sure who the Montana's aiming at, but it's definitely not Stormax. I mean, this is a good thing. Not getting shot at by Montanas is never a bad thing. It's an extremely powerful ship. Right, the Zao's disappeared. So, with radar on cooldown, Stormax is at something of a disadvantage here, because that's the Zao's hydro. So the Zao knows exactly where he is, and he's now being targeted by 2 people as a result of that. And while Stormax's spider sense is tingling, and he's expecting the Zao to be coming around that corner, he's got no way of confirming it without the radar. Or does he? Let's pop a couple of depth charge attack planes and see if the Zao forgot to turn his anti-aircraft guns off. Yep, there goes the AAA. There he is. Exactly as he expected. Oh shit, that hurt. that really hurt. That hurt a lot. But he does have a significantly faster reload than the Zao. And now he's managed to angle properly. It's a thin line. It's an extremely thin line. You can angle the Salem, just like the Des Moines, very, very well from the rear like this and get all the guns firing. But if you overdo it just a little bit, well, yeah, you saw how close he came. That was, yeah. You can relax from Brown Alert now, Stormax. You can see why he warned his team about the Zao player, because he almost had him. Just a little bit more luck with the armor piercing as he came around the corner, because nobody expects the Zao to be firing armor piercing because its high explosive is so good. But its armor piercing isn't bad either. That was more than 20,000 damage taken. Alright, the Shimakaze's gone down, taken out by the Howland. There's 1 set of Shimmer torpedoes, but the Shimmer has 3 torpedo launchers. What did he do with the other 2? Yep, there they are. Oh, this one's going to be tight. This one's going to be very tight. He's going to have to slide into a very, very narrow gap there and be careful not to go too quick. Yeah, he's done it. We're all right. This is fine. That was close. Unfortunately for the Shimakaze, it was not close enough. He would not have survived. Not with 9,000 health, he wouldn't survive a Shimakaze torpedo. Salem only gets 7% torpedo damage reduction. No, it's not a battleship. Speaking of battleships, what the hell's going on here? Who's got him spotted from the air? I mean, obviously it has to be the Montana. He's having a look around just in case the Alvaro Bazan is trying to sneak up on him, and he's gone unspotted, which means that, well, the Montana's definitely got a spotting plane up and it's circling around. There it is. Alright, this is just weird. At first he was detected by the spotting plane, but he couldn't see it. And then he went undetected, but then could see the spotting plane as it got closer to him. Oh, I don't know. What's his reload like now? 3 seconds. It looks like the Montana's going to get the opportunity to die in the shade. Oh, lordy. Yeah, there it is. There's the Kraken unleashed. And there's the 1,000 point victory. 333,000 damage done with the final kill on the USS Montana. That's 420 gun hits. And people say this ship isn't any good. I have to admit, I have to put my hand up and admit, I was one of them. I was one of the naysayers. I said, this ship is just a bad Des Moines. And it isn't. It's just the Des Moines with a bad radar and an amazing heel. Look at that. 3,341 base experience. Commiserations to the top 5 on the enemy team. I mean, this was a close battle right up until the point where it wasn't. It did turn into a bit of a landslide at the end, but the top 5 on the enemy team, every one of them with more than 1,000 base experience on a defeat. That really has to sting. But, well, somebody has to lose. And there would have been no justice in the world whatsoever if, based on today's performance, that had been Stormax. And, well, it wasn't that, so it's all good. And I hope you enjoyed watching him stomp his way to this 3,341 base XP victory in the USS Salem, because that is it for today. Hope you all enjoyed it, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.